I wasn't frightened of the establishment. The decision was made to see Prince Charles because of the Burrell letter and the allegations made in that letter. Princess Diana had stated that she was going to be murdered by her husband. We had to see whether any substance to that, and we had to have his reply to it. I'm sure nothing like that had ever happened before, so that was unprecedented.
I'd never been to St James's Palace before. I don't know the right term. A footman, a butler, guided us through. I do remember there were some of the rooms were ready for a Christmas party as we walked past because it was early December. I remember thinking I'd rather be going to that party than actually going in to interview a future king.
I explained why we were going there. It was the result of the publication of the letter. He understood the reasons for it and was only too willing to cooperate. He came in, was extremely charming. I put questions to him, which were noted down by Dave Douglas.
I'm not a monarchist. I'm not obsessed with the royal family in any way, shape or form. I have to say that Charles was actually very, very polite. Obviously, Lord Stevens is asking him questions, and he deliberately, on a couple of occasions, leant past Lord Stevens to ask me general questions about Paget. How's it going? Is the inquiry going okay? He was putting me at my ease by actually including me in the conversation. I thought that's quite classy. Doesn't matter whether I like the monarchy or not, that's quite classy. I was impressed with that.
He denied being involved in any way, shape or form, and that was noted.
I don't want to go into what Prince Charles said. All I'll say is that when it came to all of the details in that note, the Prince of Wales couldn't understand any of it. He couldn't understand why it was written. He couldn't understand why those names were put in there. He just couldn't help us with it. He was as flabbergasted as anybody else.
When she wrote me that note, the princess was going through a very tricky part of her life. And so she was unstable, and her feelings were erratic.
Oh, I think a lot of people felt Diana was a problem. This wasn't an overwhelming case of somebody who's off their rockers, or whatever phrase you want to use. And of course, it's very convenient. If you want to write somebody off, you say they're a bit unbalanced. So they can explain Diana and the whole problem there because she was a little bit, you know.
Well, I think the headline's strong enough at the top, but it's just a question of which picture we use.
I don't see how anybody can accuse Diana of being overly concerned with her security. She was aware, as the public became aware, that phone calls were being listened to.
And there's more of the tape on pages 4 and 5 as well. Okay?
Squidgy was the tape recording of Diana talking to a man, possibly an extramarital friendship, which began to be circulated in late 1991.
You'll know how much.
The Sun newspapers say this tape is genuine. It records an intimate...
A 45-minute tape, rambling, incoherent at times, angry about her lot, angry about the royal family.
Obviously, I think our readers will be absolutely fascinated by the dialogue. As I said, it's not revelatory in a major way. This is really a kind of soul-bearing of a woman who's got many tormented aspects in her life.
She did talk to me about her fears that everything she did was reported back to the other side. And to the other side, she meant Charles's lot, that because her phone calls were tapped, he knew who she was seeing, who she was meeting, where she was going. The evidence, as it seemed, was quite compelling.
I think she's desperate to hang on to your coattails. Well, she can't. No, she absolutely absolutely can't seem to make that quite clear. If you want to be like me, you've got to suffer.
People just camped outside wherever Diana was, wherever Charles was, and while they were camping there, they'd just have a scanner on listening. And you'd obviously tape it, because that tape is worth fortunes. For the first time, you actually got the royal family not as they wanted to present themselves, but as they really were. Of course the public are interested in that, and why is that not in the public interest?
Princess Diana never knew who was listening to her phone calls. It could have been Prince Charles's camp to get some juicy gossip on her to use against her, ammunition. It could have been the security services, or it could have been the media. One day a man came to see us. He said he was an ex-MI5 officer, and he went around all the apartments and listened for devices. Couldn't find anything. But then he dramatically said to the princess, well, we have to take down every mirror in the palace, because you can shine a beam from outer space onto a mirror, into a room, and listen to the conversation. She believed it was true. She knew that her world wasn't safe.